Hey you guys, it's Siobhan Muir. So I'm finishing up the last there's a bunch of little details I have to do for my miniature, and of course I'm making the forest home little miniature. I've put some of it together if you'd like to see. So one of the things that I've put together is, you can see the inside here. I've put the roof on, and you can see the lamp here, and then the hanging lamp there. And all the little details, like the fences are on the outside and the curtains are on the inside. So that's what I've gotten so far. Now, what I need to do is I need to make some awnings. They go on the outside around the windows, and I have to make some flower boxes. And so that's what I'm going to do today. It's not very exciting. It's kind of some of the busy work you have to do before you put everything together. So it looks cute. But do you see the lamps? Isn't it cool? I love how the lamps turned out. It was a pain in the butt, but it worked. So I'll set that aside for now. Okay, so what we're going to do today is we're actually going to make an awning. And these, what you have to do is you have to cut out this little piece of paper, see the blue paper? And you score it along the lines here, and you glue it to the fabric, which is over here. Now you have to cut it out. You have to cut out the fabric so that it goes along these lines on the blue paper, and then we'll glue it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut it all out so you can see what it looks like when it's done, and then I'll show you how to glue it. Okay, so after you spent all the time cutting out the little pieces of fabric off until it mirrors the paper on the other side, then what you do is you start folding these things. Now I've scored the lines, as you can see. I've scored the lines already on this, but what I want to do is I want to fold this a little bit so you get a backdrop, because what you're going to do is end up gluing this to the wall of the building, right? And then you want to fold in these little side pieces, because they're going to be the bracers, essentially. And then, of course, you have to fold this little corner in as well, because this is what you're going to end up gluing everything together, which is always a fun experience. I tried it already, and it's been like, why won't you just fold and just stay? But you know, nothing's that easy. So, all right. So now what you do is you fold. These should have already been folded in. I think they are. But all right. So now that you have everything kind of folded where you want it to, you're going to take your glue, and you're going to need tweezers for this, because you want to hold things together without gluing them to your fingers. So do one side at a time. Otherwise, it's going to be kind of tricky. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put glue on this bracer here, like that. And then I'm going to fold this over. And this is where you're going to need the tweezers. You fold it over like this, and then you squeeze it together. And then you have to hold that for a little bit to make sure that it glues where you want it to, because it's not going to want to stay. So I'm going to hold that, and then I'll be back to show you when it glues. Okay, so ta-da! Then you have a little corner. So you're going to do the same to the other side. You're going to glue this down. And again, it takes a little bit of extra time, because you just have to sit there and hold this darn thing closed. But hopefully it stays where you want it, and then you just hold it down with your tweezers, because like I said, it won't want to stay. You glue it together, and we'll just let it sit there for a minute, and I'll be back when it's stuck together and won't move. Okay, so let's see if I can take this thing off gently. Looks like we got the other side. All right, so oops, let me just drop that. All right, on the inside, you can see there's also a line scored along the little bumps. So what you're going to do is you're going to fold those up. You might have to do them individually, but the idea is to fold them up just like they're an awning. And once the stuff is dried to it, it kind of just folds without too much of an effort on your part. You just have to kind of bend it down. And ta-da! Look, you have a little awning. So you have to make 2 of those. So here's the first one I did. And then here's the second one. And what you're going to do with these guys, after you make sure that their edges are doing what you want, what you're going to do is you're going to end up gluing these things to the top of these windows. All right, so that it'll look like that. Now I'm not going to do that at the moment because I need to make another flower box, and I thought I would show you how to do that. It's same sort of idea here. Let me show you what I'm doing. I'm going to score the lines of this piece of paper that makes the box, because it really makes it a lot easier to fold everything. Okay, paper doesn't necessarily want to fold the way you want it, so the best way to get it to do the way you want it is to score the lines. And I've had to do this pretty much with everything that I've made, including the books and things like that. Okay, so then what you're going to do is you take this thing and you're going to fold along those lines that you just scored. Okay. And I'm trying to keep it in the camera angle here. And then these ends, fold up, right? Like that. And then you have to fold the tabs in, because you're going to glue the tabs to the outer walls. That's how you make the box. You try not to leave glue all over your fingers, but yeah, you must do what you can. All right, so then, okay, so then you do, now this is where it gets a little interesting. You can either do these individually and just glue one side at a time. And again, you're probably going to want your handy dandy tweezers here. Paper glues a lot faster than the fabric edged stuff, but it still takes a little bit of effort to get it to where you want it to stay. So you want to hold it down a little bit like that. All right. And then you want to do the other side. And try to remember to cover your glue, otherwise it doesn't go where you want it to. It gets sticky and dry. So again, you kind of want to not get glue all over your tweezers if you can help it. But you want to make sure that the edges glue down where you want them. So you end up with a box, right? Right, okay, same thing with the other side. I know I'm not talking much because I'm trying to concentrate. But you wanna glue it in there. And again, with the paper, it goes pretty quick. It's when you're gluing other materials to each other that it doesn't always work. With this one, close glue. It's really crazy windy out there today in Cheyenne. So, okay. And then you let that glue together. Again, with the paper, it's pretty easy and it's pretty fast. The idea is to make 2 of these because you're going to put them on the bottom of the window and you're going to fill them with the little plastic plants that came with the kit. So that's kind of fun. Although I'm not a big fan of adding the little, we might do evergreen plants instead of flowers. But, all right, the next thing you want to do is you're going to take this thing and you're going to glue some of the corrugated paper, which looks like this, on the outside to make it look like, you know, kind of like those corrugated steel things. In any case, what you're going to do is you're going to glue this to the outside of your flower pot. And then you have two smaller pieces that I haven't cut yet. I'm going to cut them in half. That you're going to glue to the end. So it looks like it's one full piece all the way around, but it doesn't take nearly as much frustration. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put glue on the corrugated piece because it's got this flat side. And I'm going to use my handy dandy high quality tool, which is also known as a zip tie, to spread out the glue. And then I'm going to glue it to my box, if I don't glue it just to my fingers. All right. Now, I would take tweezers and squeeze along the way to make sure that it glues down. Now it's going to be a little differently shaped because the way they made the box is it has an angle at the end of it. You can see, and so the corrugated paper sticks off a little bit. You can always take a sharp pair of scissors and just trim it a bit, so that it more fits the edges of the box. Be careful that you're only trimming the corrugated paper. Ta-da! Right? And then with this little bits that go to the very ends, make sure you've measured it. And then you just glue these to the very end. I'll show you how to do that in just a sec. If I get a little bit of glue on there. And then you just stick it to the end. Ta-da! And then you have your corrugated box look all the way around. Do the other end. Make sure this glue is spread all over the end of it. And stick it to the other end. Ta-da! So now you have this nifty, cool looking corrugated box that eventually will go under the same window. And there's the awning that goes with it. All right. So when the next time we do this, we will fill the boxes. Like I said, you're supposed to put these plastic things in the boxes and then cover them with little red dots. And I may or may not do that because, you know, I just don't like doing it. But evergreens are good bushes. Anyway, thank you for joining me. Please do click that little bell to let you know when there's new videos that came out. And definitely subscribe to my channel to see this and more. And I will talk to you soon. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.